right here on Family Matters because you matter. We have conversations that are very important to us as a people and as family members. It's exactly 3 minutes past the 10 o'clock hour. You're one family, one radio, Super 92.7. That is the frequency that you're tuned into, locked in and focused. Now, I need you to grab a seat. If you're already in the car and you're listening to me right now, big shout out to you. If you're where you're comfortable, grab a seat, cross your legs, because we're about to delve into something rather important. It's the 4th of April 2025, and on the 2nd of April we had started a conversation around a particular young lady, a young girl. She's 13, a teenager. Her name being Jennifer, her pseudonym being Jennifer. And on Wednesday, Choma BBB had said that she had a conversation with her teacher owing to the fact that this young girl, who has been very studious and of high moral standards and quite a distinction student, had been seen cheating. Now, you may think that she was cheating for herself in her examination, but no, it's a different case entirely. She actually went to her friend's class. She's a commercial student. Went to a friend's class who was a science student, sat down there and was waiting for her to finish her exams by the window. And seeing that her friend was struggling with the subject that she was doing, had asked her to pick up her book from her bag, which was by the door. And she did that, opened the book, and was giving this girl the answer. She was doing it so much so that she was caught. Now, the teacher caught her and was petrified. It was unbelievable that someone who, they had so much trusted and known that she was of astute behavior was indulging in such a very crazy act. Now, we were asking the question, why? Why would she have done this? Was it bullying? Was she being bullied to do it? Was she succumbing to peer pressure? Or could it just have been that maybe being a goody two shoes? I've been too good for a long time and I just want to do something bad. We didn't know why, because she didn't even have a conversation with her teacher as to the why. Now she gets home, speaks to her mom and dad about this. I want you to hold that. Just hold that, because that's the basis of our conversation today. She speaks to her mom and dad about this and tells her mom what she had done. And crying. Her mother was asking her why. She couldn't answer. And then her mom goes on to say, you know what? Your punishment is going to be whatever the school's punishment is. We're not going to beg. We're not going to apologize. We're not going to do anything. We're not going to say anything on your behalf. You are going to have to go through with this punishment yourself. Now she goes back to school the next couple of days, and then she gets called by her teacher. Now, her teacher is having a conversation with her and say, you know what the punishment is going to be? We are going to do something. And whatever course that, or whatever subject that you get the highest in, it will be on automatic F. And that is your punishment for this. And I was in shock yesterday when Choma told me. I'm like, no, why? As someone who is very studious, as someone who is, I would not want to say this. Like I would like to call myself a distinction student because I like to read. I'm bookish. For the longest time, it was hard to be spontaneous. I would rather go through the books, right? And I know that I work hard. Especially, I worked hard in school. I still really work hard. If an exam is up, trust me to want to ace it, because that is who I am and that is who I've always been. Now, putting myself in that girl's shoes and saying, you know what? You get an F. Oh my word. It would have been so devastating for her. And her parents have come out to say, you know what? That is it. That is what you're going to do. Now, I want to bring out something from this that is going to be the basis of our conversation today. In all of this, I see her going back home to have a conversation with her mom and telling her mom and her dad, this is what I have done. She messed up in school, and then you call your mom, you call your dad, she reaches out to her mom and her dad and tells them exactly what she has done. Which brings me to the question of the day. The question I'm going to ask you today. Do you trust your parent enough? Do you trust your parents enough to tell them when you have messed up? Or did you trust your parents enough? Growing up, did you ever do something bad and go to your mom and say, Mommy, I've done this? Did you break that plate in the kitchen and hide it behind the cupboard so that when they're about to throw the trash, you just insert it inside and it gets tossed in the bin? Did you have the effrontery to walk up to your mom, to your dad, to say, Mommy, Daddy, I have done something wrong. I apologize, but this is what I've done. Why were you afraid of because now there's the aspect of fear. Or why didn't you do it? Why? Because tracing this back to this our young teenager who had to go to tell her mom, "Mommy, I cheated." If you ever were caught cheating in school, did you go to tell your mom or your dad that I did this? If you ever were in any situation whatsoever that was heart-wrenching, did you ever have the effrontery to go tell your mom or your dad and say, "Daddy, I've messed up. I did this, and whatever the consequences are, I'm ready to go on with it"? Could it have been fear? Did you do it? Did you ever do it? Did you ever go to your mom or your dad to say, "Mommy, Daddy, I've done something wrong and this is what I've done"? Do you trust your parents enough? Did you trust them enough? Do you trust them enough, or did you trust them? Even as adults, if you've done something wrong, did you ever go back to your mom or your dad to say, "What is it? Mommy, I did this, Daddy, I did that"? Do you trust your parents enough to tell them when you have done anything wrong? I want to know. Call me and tell me, based off of the issue that we had with Jennifer, who went to her mom and her dad and told them point blank, "This is what I've done, and this is it. I'm not going to lie to you." Did you ever tell your mom or your dad when you had done something wrong? Did you have the effrontery? Did you trust them enough to even tell them? I want to know. The number to call is 0705 6900927. 0705 6900927. I want to know if we had parents that we could trust to tell them anything that we had done wrong. Or was it the case of fear? Because you know that how you say, if my mommy should hear this, it's over for me. I want to know. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is.
Your name is?
Daniel.
Daniel, how are you doing today?
Fine.
Fantastic. So, Daniel, I need you to turn off your radio or move away completely from it so we can have a smooth conversation.
Okay.
Fantastic.
I'm with you.
Fantastic. All right, Daniel, talk to me. Did you ever, or did you trust your parents enough in the past, or do you trust them enough to tell them what you may have done wrong? Hello, Daniel. Well, Daniel, you may need to call me back. Let me know what your thoughts are on this. Because, for me, growing up, it was more of, oh my word, I could tell one parent over the other. Now, let's open up this conversation. Who is easier to speak to? Who do you trust enough to tell them that you had done something wrong? Your mom or your dad? Your mother or your father? Because for me, it was more my dad. If I had done something wrong, it's easy to go walk up to my dad and say, "Daddy, I had done something wrong. Daddy, see what happened. I'm sorry. And I'll tell him. But my mom, who is the disciplinarian, who is someone who is rather quick to pick up a cane and whoop you. She was almost unapproachable. And maybe that's one of the things that, may have. Let's take this call quickly. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Hi, good morning. What is your name and where are you calling me from?
My name is Chidubem.
Chidubem.
I'm calling from Lagos.
Calling from Lagos. You have such a beautiful voice, Chidubem. All right, let's get right into conversation. What do you think about this? Did you trust your parents enough to tell them when you had done something wrong?
Yeah, I trust my parents enough because I remember vividly when I was in the university during my days, in my year 3, I got my girlfriend pregnant.
Oh.
So the whole thing was done on me, you understand? So I told my girlfriend, "What are we going to do now?" She was like, "I don't know, that I'm the man.
Okay.
Whatever I want to do, that she's fine by it." So I just pick up my phone. I called my mom. Although she's late now, may I so rest in peace.
Amen.
So I told her, "Mom, this is it." As in, my mom was mute for like 5 minutes on the phone.
Wow.
After the muteness, I understand the whole muteness. I was like, "God, I'm done." Then after the silence, she asked me, "Okay, what do you want to do?" And I told her, "Mom, I need your advice on this. That whatever you tell me, you find by it." She said I should tell her that, "What do I want?" I said, "I want to keep the child." He said, "Okay, what about the lady in question? Is she fine by it?" He said that whatever I decide, that she's fine by it. So she told me that I should bring the girl home.
Wow.
So that weekend, I took her, went home, we saw my mom. My mom was just looking at her.
I can't imagine what must have been going through her mind.
Through her mind, as in, she was just silent. Although my mom is a friendly someone. She attends to us very well. She cooks.
Yeah.
So we spent Friday, Saturday, Sunday evening. I was going back to school, and she advised us that it has happened. That there is nothing we can do. So if we decide to kill each other, she's fine.
Okay.
So luckily, she gave birth. She's a beautiful girl.
Oh, that is sweet.
So after that, I graduated. So we went to do everything proper. And by the grace of God, I'm with 3 kids.
Oh, with her.
Yeah, with
That
her.
is
So we are
amazing.
together.
Oh, that is amazing.
We are together,
But I want to ask.
2 boys and a girl.
Oh, I want to ask. Where is your dad in all of this?
I lost my dad when I was very young.
Okay, I see. I'm
think
so sorry about that.
5 years, yeah.
Oh, okay. But I mean, did your mother ever at any point make you fret growing up before then for you to tell her anything that happened? So you were really close with your mom?
Even there's some things that happen. My mom will call me and she discusses that, look at you, how do I see this thing? And I'll tell her this. Even we were very close. There's some things my mom told me that my elder brother don't know, even my elder sister. There are some secrets with me. Both of them don't know.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
So even some tradition in our villages and what happened when my father was alive and all those stuff. I know many of them that there's some things that happen in the family. I'll tell them, look, this is how my mom said this thing. This is how it is. And sometimes they look at me like, them that are older than me, though I'm the last one that, how come
How do
all
you
this
know?
information is with me? Yeah.
Okay.
So sometimes I just keep quiet, let it not look like she gave me the whole thing. So that's just the closeness between both of us. Although I didn't really feel happy because I didn't grow up with my dad, I didn't get the fatherly love and all of that. So
yeah, I see. But thank you so much for calling and being a part of this show and sharing that experience. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Well, I mean, you can see from all indications that he's really close with his mom, which even is making me open another onion in this conversation. The relationship between parents and their kids. The relationship that you have with your children would decide whether or not they're going to give you some information. Now, he got someone impregnated in school and picked up his phone and called his mom and said, Mommy, I'm going to just tell you this. How many kids will do that? How many children, how many parents are open, are receptive enough to actually take that information from their children without reacting in a crazy way? Because it's when a child has done something wrong and comes to your Mommy, I did this thing. Your reaction to them will tell you whether or not they're going to come back to tell you if they do something else that is wrong. Let's take this quick call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. What is your name and where are you calling me from?
Okay, this is Clement from Italy.
Okay, Clement. All right, Clement, talk to us. What do you think about this? Have you ever spoken to your mom or your dad, told your parents about something that you've done wrong? And how did they take it?
Yeah, I did that. Because back in my secondary school days, me and my friend had a fight and then he collapsed. So
He collapsed?
yes.
Okay.
So I had to run back to school, tell my teachers, call my parents on phone that okay, this is what happened. And they were like, okay, any punishment they decided, either you are going to treat the person or whatever they decide, you are going to press it. And again, you'll be taken to any police station or vigilante to discipline you.
Wow.
I was like, am I going to face this all alone? But immediately, I still went back to my friend. I poured him water, was there crying, and then by the grace of God,
He woke up.
Yes, he woke
Couldn't
up.
have imagined
And
what
I
you...
was like, God, what if I didn't mean he died? What was I going
So
to
did you call your mom or dad in all of this?
Yes, I called them.
Okay,
But
so they were the
said
ones...
that they're not coming.
Oh, they said
that
they were
they're
not
coming.
coming.
They cannot see that. Because they've warned me severally not to be fighting. Serious, I love fighting. I really love fighting. You see me, I'm thin. In fact, I'm tiny. But in case of fighting, forget about it. I love it.
Hi. So I hope you have stopped fighting now. Because that must have been a lesson for you to have learned, seeing that somebody almost lost their lives because of that.
That day I have not fight again.
You had better not.
Me, I will run for my life.
I understand. But I mean, growing up, did you ever, like before secondary school, did you ever call your mom or your dad if you had done something wrong? Were they the first point of contact for you?
Yes.
Okay.
Even in my primary 3, I guess, I broke a plate. And then I was like, let me hide it from the cupboard. Let me hide it so that nobody will know. So anytime they said I should throw away the dustbin, I would just put it inside and throw it
Okay. Okay.
And then my other sister saw it on camera. So she came to me like, okay, Oga, this is what you've done. I saw everything. You better go now. Go and tell mommy and dad. If not, you will die. You'll be dead.
Are you serious? She threatened you with that?
Yes.
Okay.
So I guess I was just sent. Like I have to like go to my mom and dad in the parlor. They were watching a movie, and then I was like, Dad, I need to talk to you. Mom, I need to talk to you. She said, what happened? Why do you want to talk to us?
Huh? Oh my God, I can't imagine.
They don't want to give me a listening ear. I have to off the movie. And I was by this time I was sweating already.
I can't imagine.
What is happening? Go ahead and talk to us. I told them. They said, okay. The person that give you the idea to come and tell us really helps you. If not, they didn't say any other thing again. If not, they said, oh yeah, go back on the TV and go back to sleep. And this was in the night.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for giving me that good laugh. I mean, your sister is one very mischievous person who says, if you don't tell mommy and daddy, you're going to die. Oh my God, you can't tell a kid that and he will not fear for his life. Well, in case you're just tuning in, it's your One Family, One Radio, Super 92.7. And we're having this rather important discussion about trust and parenting. So the question goes thus. Do you trust your parents enough to call them? Do you trust and did you trust your parents enough to call them when you had done something wrong? And that is a topic of conversation for the day. I have a couple of messages on WhatsApp, but I mean, you can call me to tell me what your experience had been in the past or is right about now. 0705 6900927. 0705 6900927. I had said something earlier on that as parents, it's rather important to bring your children closer to the point where they can tell you anything, even if they've done something rather wrong, even though they feel as though, my mother is going to kill me. Like, she's going to skin me alive. But I will still go back home and tell my mom. Now, a rather short story that I actually did say yesterday, for all those that may not have heard, listened to the show yesterday. It was of a friend who we were in our first year in uni, we're all in a room together. Another friend of ours had gotten a new phone. And it was exciting because it was one of the most, expensive phones there is right now. And she had gotten like almost the latest. It was a 6. And then she held onto the phone and she said, oh my God, I just got a new phone. And everyone was like, oh my God, that's really good. It's so cute a phone, blah, blah, blah. And then another friend of ours actually held onto the phone and was just touching it. And the thing slipped off her hand and fell. And then the screen broke. A new phone. I mean, it was London news, by the way. But it was a phone that was just got new by this person. And she was in shock, first of all. That was like, oh my God, like what did I do wrong? How did I do this? And of course, the person who is her friend is saying, and you have to repair it. It's a new phone. I just got it. I haven't even used it for 24 hours. And this has happened. Do you know that this girl picked up her phone and called her father? And said, hello, daddy. And I literally was behind her trying to go to the restroom when I heard her talking to her dad. And daddy, I'm sorry. I didn't know. Like, it was just unintentional. I didn't know that the phone I didn't even know when the phone fell. It wasn't even a long distance. Like, it wasn't even a phone that fell and then it just clapped. She was on the bunk and she was just holding the phone down. So it wasn't something that would have had that kind of impact, but it did. And she told her dad. Her dad was like, okay, thank you so much for telling me. Your next allowance will take money from there to repair the phone. That is your punishment. And I had to ask her, like, you called your father to tell him that you had destroyed somebody's phone? How dare you? And by this time, I had lost my dad. I think I had lost my dad now for about 17 years. My dad would have been that person I would have called. But seeing that with my mom, I'm like, I would rather want to sort that issue myself without involving family. But that thing taught me one thing. It says, no matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you home. Getting home, calling home. Because even if everyone rejects you, your family, a good family, by the way, will never reject you. And that is what family is all about. were standing behind each other every step of the way, even in difficult situations, even in times where you think to yourself that, oh, they're going to kill me, like literally, for doing this, they will still have a way to call you to order. I mean, there's an adage that says you beat a child with the right hand and draw him forth with the right. Well, 0705-6900927 is the number to call me on. And I mean, I want to indulge in this conversation with you. Do you trust, or did you trust your parents enough to tell them when you had done something wrong? Do you? I want to hear. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning. What is your name and where are you calling me from?
I'm calling from Yanoba.
Yanoba, what is your name?
Hello?
What is your name?
Chidubem.
Chidubem. All right, Chidubem, tell me, do you trust your parents enough to tell them when you had done something wrong? Or did you?
Yeah.
How so? Give me an
Especially my
instance. Especially your mom.
Yeah.
Okay, give me an instance.
The day we were playing ball at a neighborhood community.
Mm-hmm.
So I played the ball to glass, like the window glass.
Oh, that's trouble.
Yeah.
That is trouble.
Yeah. So like everybody playing the ball with me, everybody around. So I was just the one standing there looking at the glass.
Hey.
And I was really, really shocked. So I had to rush up to tell my mom, like, Mom, this is what happened when I was playing. But she was like, okay, who's the owner of the building? So we have to go to the lady house and talk to her. So the mom was like, okay, they are going to replace the window. So mom said, okay, there's no problem. So we have to replace the window. That's how everything goes.
What did she do to you afterwards?
So like, I should just be careful next time playing ball. Like, I shouldn't be playing ball around the neighborhood.
So
like
how's your relationship with your mom?
I'm very, very close.
Okay, you think that played a part with you going back home because that's the only place you would have gone?
Yeah.
What about your dad? Would you have done that with your dad if your dad was maybe the only one that was around at home?
Never.
Why so? Tell me about it.
My dad is a custom officer, but
okay.
yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't have done it if it was your dad, but you'd have done it. You did it with your mom. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Thank you so much. Well, this is just to even open up the conversation about what parent is easy to accost. What parent is easy for you to go to, whether your mom or your dad? Which of your parents is easy to go to have a conversation with them about what you may have done wrong? Which one is easily accessible? Which one would you just call mommy? Even though my mommy, let me just go to my mom and tell her. Or let me just go to my dad to tell him. Well, I have a message here. Bobby from Kano says, I burst out in a maniacal laughter at the drop of your question. He says, in my growing up days, there was never any form of trust between me and every elderly person in my household, especially the parents. Okay, with this one, I wanted to ask Bobby quickly. Are you the first? Are you the last, or are you close to being the last child of your home? It says, goes on to say, you can say that there was no trust lost between us. And no, I was never that bad child. Story for some fateful day in the future. Okay, Bobby, I want to know. I definitely want to know. I mean, what number you hold in the family, in the kids. I really want to know. Well, I mean, you can send me a WhatsApp message as well, telling me whether or not you trust or you trusted your parents enough to tell them what you may have done wrong. If you do something wrong now, it's the first point of contact your parents, or would you like to sort out that issue yourself? Is there trust between you and your parents? Are your parents open enough to have conversations with you, or you have conversations with them with something that you may have done wrong? I mean, we had our first caller say, I got somebody pregnant and I called my mother, because that's the only person that I would rather call to have a conversation with. Because really, I mean, parents should do better with opening up the communication channel between themselves and the children. Open enough that even when your child does wrong, they come to you and say, Mommy, I did this. And the way that you actually respond and react to what they have done wrong will tell them whether or not they can tell you if they did something else in the future. If they do something else in the future. Imagine how your child comes up to you and say, oh, Mommy, I broke plates. You broke these plates. Okay. And then, yes, you should punish your children for doing wrong. Or, of course, spare the rod and spoil the child. We know that is from the Bible. But I mean, there's more to that in all of that. But what I'm just trying to point out too is the way that you react and the way that you correct that child when they do something wrong will determine whether or not they're going to come to you the next time they do something similar or something even worse. So that is why they say, parenting styles are different. Calling your child to order, having a conversation with them in the most loving manner, scolding them if they need to, and punishing them the right way is other ways to go. But let's get right back to the phone lines. 0705 6900927 is the number to call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What is your name and where are you calling me from?
Justin from Songo.
Justin from Songo. All right, talk to me, Justin.
Yes, ma'am. I grew up with my grandma.
Okay.
And there was a time I beat up a guy in my secondary school.
You beat up a guy. Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Go on.
Yes. And everywhere was scatter. And if I didn't tell my grandma before she heard from outside people, it will cause another problem.
Okay.
And I was like, how will I tell her? This thing, how will I tell her? And anyhow, I told her that time. And she was like, who are you? Who gave that to you? That you are beating up a guy and you are a girl. And I was like, the guy told me I didn't have home training. I was like, who are you to tell me that I don't have home training?
Okay.
And that's why I beat up the guy. And after that, if anything happens, my grandma would blame me that if you didn't do this, they won't say that you did it.
Okay. So you had to tell your grandma about it. Now,
Yes,
the reason why you told your grandma, is it because you really wanted to tell her based off
No.
but because of the fear of her hearing from outside? Right.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that angle. Thank you so much you see, I mean, it's like an onion. We're opening it up one after the other. Now we've opened another channel. And this is to say that sometimes the reason why your children will want to come tell you what they had done wrong, it's not because they trust you enough to react in a way that, I mean, to trust you enough in all of that, but because they know that if my mommy or daddy should hear this outside, I'm even much more done than I am. So let me just present myself as a sacrificial lamb. And into your sanctuary, oh Lord, I present my spirit. Well, 0705 6900927. 0705 6900927 is the number to call. And we're asking this question today on family matters because, yes, it's a family matter that we need to address. Do you or did you trust your parents enough to tell them when you had done something wrong? Did you tell them? Do you tell them if you've done something wrong right now? Do you have your courage to pick up your phone and say, hello, mommy, this is what I've done. And yes, this is it. This is it. And that's it. And you just put yourself out there. Or did you do it because of the fear of them hearing about it later? Or did you do it because truly, I mean, the relationship between your mom and yourself is beautiful to the point where you can tell them or her anything? I'm facing more focus on the male. I want someone to call me and tell me that their dad was that way. I want someone to call me and tell me, oh, my father, I could tell him everything. Because the last person that said, my daddy, cannot, never. It's impossible. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning. What is your name and where are you calling me from?
It's Chidubem from Surulere.
Chidubem from Surulere. Great to have you on the show, Chidubem. All right, Chidubem, tell me. Talk to me.
Okay, my experience was that at my early age, there was a day that I mistakenly stoned someone on the eye.
Hey.
So that day, I ran out of the house, thinking that if my parents hear this, they will just kill me like that.
Right.
So I didn't come back to house that day. So each in the evening, after my parents came back from work, so they heard the story. So I was hanging around the bush, thinking that my mom or my dad would kill me. So after that, my mom saw me, they called me, and they asked me what happened. I told them that I mistakenly stoned someone. So they told me that who is the person, and I told them the person. And they just took me to the person's house and pleaded with the parents of the guy.
Okay.
So that was how I was saved that day.
Okay. So did they scold you afterwards?
Hello?
Did they scold you afterwards, your mom and dad?
They didn't do anything. They just asked me
not to do that anymore. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Chidubem, for calling me and sharing that with me. Chidubem has once again opened another angle to this conversation. Now, because of fear, of course, you were brought up in the way that you understand that there are repercussions to some certain things that you do as a child or as an adult, or under the tutelage of your parents. You know that there are repercussions. And maybe your father has told you, if I see, I will beat you. If I do, I will. If you try me, if you destroy our family name, I will make sure I disown you. And maybe they've put out all of these threats. And then you do something that is worth being scared of, and maybe you're afraid that one of or two of those repercussions may come your way for doing that, and then you escape. As a parent, I like that Chidubem's mom and dad did this. After he was running, no matter where you go, remember the road that you will come back to this house. And then even after he ran, because he knows that his parents will not be happy with him, they called him to order and said, okay, come, let's go and meet. Let's try to sort this out. So how best do parents need to actually ensure that even though they may have put out all of these threats, they know they are rest assured that their child will come to them and have this conversation? Let's head to the phone line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. What is your name and where are you calling me from?
I'm Avis from Orele.
Okay, Avis from Orele. Talk to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. My mom, I don't usually feel like so close to her when telling her if I've done something wrong. I usually tell my dad
instead.
Then
okay.
Then my dad will go tell my mom, because my dad is that kind of calm person. According to his mood at the time. But there was this particular time. I was taking online lessons with his phone. I didn't have a phone then.
Okay.
So I was taking online lessons with the phone. Then he left the phone with me and he went to work. So on the course of giving him back the phone, I fell the phone down the staircase. So the screen was totally damaged. So I had to give him the phone at his workplace. He sells styles. I know it's house market. There are people everywhere.
Yes.
So I didn't have to tell him that, look, I broke your phone. Without him, like try to make a
cause a scene, or even flog you there.
Yes. So he just told me quietly, say, okay, the punishment is to do the screen with my own money.
Okay.
That then he gave me the phone back. He didn't say much. That was the only thing he said. My punishment is to do the screen with my money. He now gave me the phone back, say I should go back. Now to come back with a good screen and a good phone. Yeah, but I think it was 2 days later. I later did the screen for him, sir.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for calling, Harvest, and being a part of the show. Parenting is something that, I know that we have to learn on the job. It's not like anybody had been a parent before they started parenting a child. It's like you're learning on the go, and from other people's experiences, you're getting to know your child a little more. We're talking about Chidubem's conversation with me just before I went on that break, with him running, and of course, because of the threat that has been put out. I know that, yes, you should sort of shake your child a bit and say, don't do this. If you do this, I'm going to scold you. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But when your child has done that, afterwards, do you think the right way to actually go through that issue is telling them, you know, you can trust me. You know, you can have a conversation with me. You know that if you do something wrong, all you need to do is come and tell mommy and daddy. I'm not going to bite. How many parents can do that in today's world? How many parents are open enough? How many parents are receptive enough towards their children? How many of them will call their children and say, you can tell me anything, even if you've done something wrong? Like our Jennifer, who is the case study for this conversation, going to her mom and her dad and said, I helped somebody cheat in an exam, mommy. Daddy, I did this. This is what I've done wrong. How many of us trust our parents to and tell them what we may have done wrong? Hello, good morning. Hi, good morning. Can you hear me? Hello? Well, I would need you to move around a little because I see that there's a network situation from your end. 0705-6900927. Well, we have a message here saying, sad enough for me, I didn't trust my parents enough because of the way they treated me when I was growing up. Even now, I recently bought a house and it's difficult for me to tell my parents. I'd rather prefer to tell another family member or friend rather than tell my parents. I really am not happy about this, but that's all I have to do. Although I do help them out whenever they ask me for help, but telling them my secret is a no. Okay, that is such a deep answer to this question. And we'll get right back into that. But hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning. What is your name? Hello, good morning. Well, you may need to call me back. I want to know what your thoughts are on this. Well, it says, I can't even tell my parents, even when when I do something right. Well, that is something that we need to ensure that never happens to any family out there. Imagine not being able to share your successes with your parents because, they treated you wrongly when you were growing up. I want to ask, how are you trying to mend this with your mom and dad? Because you need family. They birthed you. They're your parents. And I'm sure that they love you. I don't know. Do you want to maybe mend this? I want to know. Tell me. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Okay, all right, we lost that call. But I want to know what your thoughts are on this before I wrap things up on Family Matters. Family Matters is a show that caters to family, and it's such an amazing show that happens from Monday up until Fridays on the Super Breakfast Show. We have conversations like this and more because it's important. These conversations need to be had, and what better way to do it than on a family radio station? Well, I have a message here quickly from Ima from Lagos. It says, Gifted Goddess, growing up, I didn't used to tell my parents a lot of things because they, especially my mom, used to tell me, don't do this most times. And my dad used to yab me sometimes with some of the things that I had told him before. Okay. It says sometimes my mom will suspect some things are up and will keep probing and asking questions till I open up. I got into a little trouble with my vice principal in SS3 and didn't tell my parents till my vice principal threatened to stop me from taking my mock exams. And so I told my mom grudgingly. But now I open up to them on certain things. Not everything, Sha, when we're gisting. Okay, now that is another thing. Another aspect to this conversation. How do you probe your children? Do you need to probe them a little more before they ask you? And I see that his dad used to tease him sometimes with the things that he told him before. Okay. Now parents need to be rather careful with that aspect as well. We need to be rather careful with that aspect. When your child has done something wrong and they came to tell you or they come to tell you what they had done wrong and then you're forgiving them, it's supposed to be water under the bridge. Not, that's how you go and break somebody's head or like you did the other time. Of course, that will not make the child want to tell you anything anymore. Well, I have to go on this rather short break. You can still send me a WhatsApp message. You can still call me 0705 6900927. It's still Family Matters right here on your One Family, One Radio, Super 92.7.
Super FM 92.7.